Why am I doing this to myself? Hey there, lovelies. It's Gretchen. Welcome back to my channel. I don't know why I said it like that. I think I'm stalling for what this video is. But as you can probably already tell by the title of today's video, I'm going to be doing a read-in vlog for a book that I did not think I was going to read. And I'm still sitting here going like, why am I reading it? But it's one of those cases of curiosity killed the Gretchen, at least her time. So as you can probably tell from today's video, it is a read-in vlog for a very specific book. Now you may be asking yourself, Gretchen, you read Haunting Adeline back in January and gave it a 2 out of 5 stars, and you clearly didn't like it. Why are you reading the follow-up? And to that I say, I don't know. But for some reason, it has been on my mind recently. Again, it's like with Haunting Adeline. I have FOMO when it comes to books. Book talk tends to steer me wrong, and then my FOMO is just like, what? So yeah, I'm currently feeling a little bit of FOMO that I haven't read Hunting Adeline. So we're gonna do that. That's today's reading vlog. It's gonna be like a part 2 to the one that I did back, what, January, February, something like that, where I read Hunting Adeline. I am gonna be reading Hunting Adeline. Wait, did I say Haunting? I read Haunting, the first one. I'm going to be reading Hunting, the second one. Let me just pull up Goodreads real fast for just a little refresher. Hunting Adeline. Those that don't know, this is a dark romance duet. It is a duo, it's not a trilogy. This is 649 pages. I didn't know that. Look, I am an ADHD girly at heart. I like my books like around 350. I like my books around 350. Why is this book 649 pages? How much was Haunting? 583. Oh, so it wasn't like that big of a difference. Interesting, okay. Okay, also Hunting Adeline has a higher rating on Goodreads than Haunting. Haunting Adeline, as of right now, it is currently July 14th, and as of right now, Haunting has a 3.97 and Hunting has a 4.11. So do people actually like Hunting more than Haunting? I've heard that it's worse, and by worse I mean like the content is way like light years away from what happened in Haunting Adeline. So I guess I should definitely read the trigger warnings. Yeah, some reviews are saying like this book is more triggering than the first, like 10 times over, very graphic. Ooh, okay. Ooh. I'm still gonna do it. I'm still gonna do it. There are very few things when it comes to words that get to me, very few things. If it deals with a child or an animal getting hurt, that is an automatic no for me. I absolutely will not do it. That's about as far as like I get upset, unless it's like just like over the top descriptions. There are some cases though where those two elements aren't involved and it's just like really over the top descriptions. I read a single page, thank you TikTok, from the book Playground. I'm not even gonna say the author because I don't want y'all to go search for that. But I read a single page from that due to TikTok. And I do wish I could put bleach in my eyes to unsee those words because they were a lot. So I do know that this one, okay. Some of these reviews, someone said, I hope Zayd's dick goes limp forever. I wish I could be a funny reviewer. I'm not. Okay, well this is gonna be interesting. Anyway, back on track. Like I said, ADHD, sorry, I was reading the reviews. I think I have one friend on Goodreads that has read this book. Yeah, one friend. She gave it a 3 out of 5 star. I don't know what she gave Haunting. I'm gonna get it right, Haunting. Look, you can't have the titles be that similar and not expect someone to mess it up. Okay, so she gave Haunting a 3 out of 5 star. But yeah, I gave Haunting a 2 out of 5. So we'll see what Haunting does. I do want to, real fast, I want to see, where are the trigger warning pages? It's only 43 chapters, but it's long. I do like that she includes a playlist. That's fun, except for the only thing is like, are you supposed to listen to certain songs at certain moments? Because I'm gonna blow through this playlist before I get like 25% through the book. I do see Bad Omens on this playlist, which is pretty cool. I see Skillet, I see Red, Story of the Year, I recognize. So there's some good songs. Author's note, if you're expecting a quick reunion, then this book isn't for you. Don't worry, there's not any less spice. Is this, okay, that's probably not a good description, but talking about like a quick reunion, And this is why I never finished the Twilight books. I know, completely different worlds, but I never finished New Moon because I hated the separation between Edward and Bella. I hated it. Bella was insufferable at that point, but I hated that. I just wanted them to get back together really fast. Is it gonna be like that? I mean, obviously different. Like, not even in the same like stratosphere at that point. Let's see what trigger warnings. I'm not even sure I'm gonna be able to read. So, okay, there's that word again. That last time I had to Google it, and then that's gonna be in my Google search. Ah, yes, someone who becomes aroused by someone who's unconscious. Okay. Anyway, yeah, I don't think I can read some of these things. I do feel like YouTube will be like, so I'm not gonna read the trigger warnings. However, if you plan on reading this book, definitely look at it. Very particular kinks. I'm stalling at this point, can you tell? I'm staying off social media today, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get some stuff done around the house that I've been meaning to. I have to do some stuff for my business, and then we're gonna read. Okay. And I'm gonna stop stalling, and before I get to reading, I'm gonna do a few quick things for my business, such as apply for a parlor license, and then we'll go plop our butt on the sofa and read. I'm excited, but also very, very scared. Actually, excited probably is not the best word. I don't know what I don't know what it is, but I don't think excited is the right word. Anxious, maybe. Yeah, anxious. Hello, update number 1. I am roughly 25% of the way through Hunting Adeline now. According to my Kindle, I'm on page 118, chapter 12. So I feel like I did pretty good for today. It is like 7:30 now, so there was a lot of stopping because I don't know. There's something so far about this that actually I do know. It's not for me. But I'm gonna power through. So basically, a little synopsis of where I am at this point. The premise is it picks up where Haunting Adeline left off, which is a little bit of spoilers, so I'll give you a minute. Basically, at the end of Haunting Adeline, Addie gets kidnapped because Zaid has a lot of enemies, and so Addie became like a target. So then Hunting Adeline picks up where Haunting left off, and we see Addie is basically being forced into sex trafficking. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on YouTube. Maybe if you're far enough into a video yet, but like I said, this book has way more trigger warnings than the last one, I feel like. That's what's happening right now. And then Zaid, being the egotistical stalker that he is like, I'm gonna burn the world down to get her back. This is my fault. To which I'm like, yeah, you got that one right. It is. And he's like, I'm gonna kill everyone that stands between me and Addie. And I'm like, okay. This man's got like super strength. I don't know how this man is just like, I punched a hole in the wall like 5 times and and didn't hurt myself. And it's like, okay, whatever. And so up until this point, there have definitely been some scenes that are a lot. Yeah, just know that if you plan on read Hunting Adeline, please read those warnings, because it's a lot. Also, the graphicness of some of the things. Oh my god. There's one whole scene where, again, this vlog might be having some little snippets of spoilers here and there. There's one whole scene where Zaid takes like scissors and cuts the piece of flesh in between someone's fingers, and I'm like, ugh. Nah. Did anyone ever watch Jackass? There was one little like thing they did where they took paper and gave each other paper cuts in between their toes. Ugh. Things like that, just so squeamish. And then there's another whole scene, chapter 8, if you've read it. Yeah, so far this whole book has given me the ick, kind of like Haunting Adeline did. And I promise you, I really am trying to have an open mind, because I know people do enjoy this duo. I am just struggling. I am struggling to see where the positives are. I am. So if you do enjoy both Haunting and Hunting, or if you've only read Haunting, let me know in the comments below, like, what is it about the books that kind of just holds on to you? Because I am struggling, because right now this is coming across more kind of like torture porn, and that's not for me. That's how it's coming across right now, is torture porn. And again, I'm only 25% of the way through, but it's just, I don't know, it's a lot. It's a lot. We'll see if I read any more tonight. I will say I do think I should have read the prequel to these, which I believe is called Satan's Affair, which features Sibby a little bit more, because Sibby is mentioned, just like briefly, by Addie in Hunting Adeline, and I'm wondering if we're gonna see her again, because I know Sibby is a very popular and well-loved character on Book Talk, and I'm just like, I feel like we didn't see her that much in Haunting Adeline, and I'm wondering if she's gonna show up in Hunting Adeline, but maybe it's because I should have read the prequel first? I don't know. If anyone's read it, let me know. But no, I have not read that one. Will I? I don't know. Might be too late at this point. I will say I am feeling awful for Addie. I know I called her dumb in the last book, which she is. She was. But I'm feeling really bad for her now. She's basically just beaten down to nothing, and I feel really bad for her. And Zaid, you said it's your fault. You're damn right it is. You're damn right it is. So, yep, we'll see how much more I do today, but that's where we currently are. Addie's been kidnapped, and Zaid is gonna burn down the world to find her, which is pretty much the whole premise of the book. Trying to keep this as spoiler-free as possible, but I don't think I'm gonna succeed. All right, it is Monday, July 15th, so it's the next day, and I'm currently waiting for the leasing manager of where I'm renting a salon suite to get here so that I can get the keys to my salon, but she just texted me that she's running late, so I thought this would be a great opportunity for me to read a little bit more of this wonderful novel called Hunting Adeline. Yeah, she was supposed to be here at 12 o'clock. She's not gonna be here now till 12:15, so I'm just gonna take this opportunity to read. Why am I wearing a sweatshirt when it is currently, let me see, what is it outside? It's currently 91, but feels like 104. I love summer. It's so much fun. I love it. Anyway, let's do a little reading. Let's get maybe a chapter or so in while we wait. One chapter. I have read one chapter in the car and I'm already disgusted. People aren't lying when they say that Haunting Adeline is like nothing compared to Hunting Adeline. Hunting Adeline is, I don't know what words that I want to say regarding Hunting Adeline. I would much rather read Haunting Adeline. Haunting Adeline. I'm gonna get him right by the end of this vlog. I would much rather read Haunting Adeline 10 times than finish this, but I'm going to because I have a problem with DNF in a book. So I'm going to read it against my best judgment. One chapter. I've read one chapter in the car and I already want to just fling my Kindle out the window. Except for I won't because that's too expensive. But how does this have a higher rating than Haunting? I am curious. I'm not trying to bash anyone who does enjoy this. Please actually enlighten me because I'm not seeing it. Hello. I don't think I have updated in a little bit. As of right now, it is Tuesday, July 16th. So I started this, what, 2 days ago? I think. As of right now, I'm on chapter 27, so about 54% of the way through, so I'm at a halfway point. My hope is to finish this book before the weekend. As of right now, we're on part 2. I don't think I can really give my thoughts without spoiling some things, so if you are interested in reading Hunting Adeline, there are going to be some spoilers for this one. I'm going to do my best not to do too many, but I'm going to do some spoilers. So anyway, as of right now, Zaid has found Addie, gotten her away from the trafficking situation, and now Addie is processing her trauma, and they're trying to make a plan of next actions because Addie doesn't even want Zaid to touch her right now, which totally valid because of the trauma and situation that Addie went through. Completely understandable that she's like, I don't want anyone to touch me, even those that I care about. I don't want anyone to touch me. I get it. I understand. At this point, Addie just celebrated her birthday, which based on the journal entry, her birthday is April 7th. So did I not know that Addie was a fellow Aries? And not only that, but her birthday's 2 days after mine? I was unaware. Was that mentioned in the first one? I don't know. We do know that Zaid was born September 7th. And he's a Virgo, which the only thing that I think of when I hear that someone's a Virgo is Jenna Marbles shouting, I'm a Virgo! I'm a Virgo! That's like all that I can imagine. We're at this point now where, like I said, Addie's trying to process what she went through, yet that's kind of where it is right now. So, my thoughts up until this point, again, more than halfway through the book now. I will say, I've got to give credit where credit is due. The writing for Hunting Adeline is significantly better than Haunting Adeline. Haunting Adeline read like a fanfic. I'm not sure of what, but that's how it read. Hunting Adeline actually has way better writing. So, snaps for that. The writing is not cringy. Well, some things are kind of cringy. For the most part, the writing is better. 2, it's really bad when I start to think of Zaid as the good guy. He was so gross in the first one. Like I said, when I did, when I read the first book and did that reading vlog, the smut was smutting. That was great, except for one specific scene, and you'll know it if you've read it. But it's pretty bad when he appears as the good guy and you're just like, aww. And I have to keep reminding myself, like, no, he was a stalker. Like, stop saying aw. There's no aw. But he is looking like the good guy right now. And he's being very caring toward Adeline. Addie. I don't know why I gave her full government name there. He's being very caring toward her. Very understanding, which is like light years better than he was in the first book. So yeah, that's where currently I'm sitting with things happening in the book. Let me see, there had to have been some other thoughts. Like, again, I'm very impressed with the writing. The writing is significantly, I don't know what the timeline is from when the author wrote the first book and wrote this one. Like, I'm not sitting there going like, this is awful, this is terrible writing, because that was my big issue, or one of my big issues with the first book, was the writing was just so bad, I thought. This one though, way better. It does not read like fan fiction. It just reads very graphic. I will say, I don't know how other people feel about this one character. And again, I'm only halfway through the book, so this is just my thoughts up until this point. I don't want to feel sorry or sympathetic toward Rio, but how the author is writing Rio and then how the author is making Addie feel sympathetic toward Rio, I'm like, this person is terrible. Why am I feeling bad for him? And it's like, if you read the book, you understand like why his thought process is where it is and why he's doing what he's doing, but at the same time it's like, so you're very torn on it. So I'm feeling kind of torn right now when it comes to Rio. I'm like, ooh, I'm not supposed to like you. So you know what? Again, credit where credit's due. The author is doing a really good job of making me feel sympathetic toward a character that I probably should not be. Actually, several characters. Zaid being another one. Like, he's still at his essence, not a good person. He stalked Adeline into loving him. It's a little weird. And by a little weird, I mean a lot weird. But here we are. That's where we currently are. Chapter 27, part 2. I don't know how, I'm assuming are there 3 parts? How many parts are in this book? It's just 2 parts. So the first part of Hunting Adeline is Addie in the situation, in the trafficking situation that she's in, and Zaid trying to find her. Part 2, I'm assuming part 2 is gonna focus on Addie dealing with her trauma. I don't want to say coming to terms with it, but just kind of processing it. And maybe, I'm assuming they're not gonna let these people live. Knowing Zaid, I'm assuming a lot more people are gonna die. I'm just assuming. I'm hoping that they're able to come together in more ways than one. I'm gonna read a little bit more tonight. Again, my hope is to finish this book by the weekend. I want to finish by midday Friday. That is my goal for this book. I think I can do it. I think I can do it. Hello, it is Saturday, July 20th, so I haven't updated y'all in a few days, mostly because I have not been reading Hunting Adeline. I was finishing up an audiobook that I was listening to. Hi, Pearl. But I'm back to reading this. My hope is to finish it today. I wanted to finish it yesterday, but other things kept me from doing so. So, thought I would give an update though. I am 70, 75, 76% of the way through. I'm on chapter 36. I think there's 43 chapters plus an epilogue, so I don't have much more to go. I don't know what's left to happen in 25% of this book because we've seen, I'm trying very hard not to do too many spoilers, and if I do spoilers, I'm trying to make them broad so it's not like very specific spoilers. From the last time I updated y'all till now, we have seen a few people cease to be in the world of the living, to put it that way. I'm not gonna say who specifically, just as a heads up, if you hear some strange sounds in the background, that would be this one. He breathes heavy when he wants me to pet him. I don't know if this is some weird tactic like mother, where he wants me to pet him, but he ends up breathing kind of heavy when he wants me to snuggle with him. He's like, I don't think this is what I wanted at all. So we've seen that. We've gotten a little bit more of insight and a little bit more of an understanding for Sibby, which I was excited for because I think I already mentioned in this vlog that so many people seem to really like Sibby, and I'm like, we really didn't see her that much in Haunting, but we are seeing her quite a bit in Hunting, and she is quite the character. She brings a lot of comic relief, which I enjoy. Let's see, what are some other things I can give you up until this point? Zaid and Addie's relationship, I'm so confused by it. I'm very confused by it. The first half of this book was a struggle because Addie was in the situation that she was in, and Zaid was trying to find her. And all Addie could hold on to was the hope of seeing Zaid again. Well, now they're together at this point, and she's just like, you repulse me. Pretty much everyone repulses me, which understandable. Get away from me, things like that. And Zaid's like, I'm gonna respect her, but also not, which is so confusing. I've really gotta say though, I gotta hammer this home. That's not the saying, but whatever. The writing in this book is so much better than Haunting Adeline. I know I've already mentioned that, but it really is. Like, I'm genuinely enjoying some of the story. Whereas the last book, the first one, it was just like smut, 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 what the fudge. Whereas this one is like, what the fudge? Smut, but then also story. And I'm like, I'm actually liking this. What? This one, I already know is gonna have a higher rating than Haunting Adeline. Haunting Adeline, I gave a 2 out of 5. I can't remember if I gave it 2.5 technically. I'll have to go back and look on Goodreads. But I gave it a 2 out of 5 star. This one is already gonna be at least a 3. I know. Clutch your pearls. I know, but I am genuinely enjoying the writing. Now we are getting to the point in Hunting Adeline where every single chapter is like, whew, whew. I need a fan, I need to cool off because damn. One little teensy thing that I have an issue with. Can we stop shoving objects in places they don't belong? Can we stop doing that? Can we please stop doing that? Please stop shoving things into spaces that they shouldn't, like they're not meant to go there. So in book 1, we had a pew pew that went in an area that it's not supposed to. In this one, we have Ghostface's favorite weapon being shoved in an area that it doesn't belong. I understood why it happened, kinda, but like, we don't know where that thing has been. I will say it's not the pointy part that went in. It's the handle. But we don't know where that's been. Can we stop shoving things in places where they don't belong? And especially if they haven't been cleaned. That's just, okay, let's just, there's a line, let's stop there. Again, 75% of the way through, still got 25%. I don't quite know what's gonna be in the next 25% because we've already seen some major moments, you know, happen. I have a feeling I know what's gonna happen. And again, this is a duet, so this is the final book. Haunting and Hunting. There's no one after that. There is a prequel, but like, technically it's a duet. I'm starting to see why people are liking this book. I'm starting to see the appeal for dark romance. Don't get me wrong, I'm still kind of held up on the term romance in that. I'm not seeing a whole lot of romance. You're gonna label something dark romance, at least let something be romantic in there. But I'm starting to see the appeal. And the main thing is you can kind of suspend any actual connection. So like if you read an actual romance book, you can kind of connect yourself with the characters and be like, this could happen. Stuff like this, where you have someone like Zaid, who is like supposed to be, you know, 6'6" and so powerful that no person could take him down. He's killed a bunch of people. You kind of have to suspend your belief a little bit because you know that's not gonna happen. So I get why people read it, as opposed to something like what you find with Abby Jimenez, like her books, where it's romance, it's contemporary romance, and you can actually see yourself in those characters or stuff like that happening. Whereas with something like this, it's just kind of like, it would be very, 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 very out of the norm for something like that to happen. With that mindset, it's a little bit easier for me to digest this book. And I kind of wish I had that mindset when I went in with Haunting Adeline, because maybe I would have enjoyed it a little bit more. But I will say I am enjoying this one so far. We do have 25% left. I am gonna do my best to finish it today so that we can wrap up this vlog, because I feel like I'm dragging it out at this point. So I'm gonna get back to reading now. Hopefully no one shoves anything in places that it shouldn't go. Okay, first of all, sorry if it's a little bit echoey. I'm sitting in front of my bookcase, which is, we have an open floor plan in our house. So this is like, I don't even know what this section would be called, but the living room is over there. The kitchen is right there. The dining area is in front of me. So it's very open, there's no rugs. So if it sounds echoey, sorry. It is Sunday, July 21st, and I finished Hunting Adeline yesterday. And I just thought I would give my final thoughts on this read. So, for starters, I gotta figure out how to word this, because I did rate this one higher than Haunting Adeline. Haunting Adeline, I gave a 2-star on Goodreads. Hunting, I gave a 3-star. Now, do not get it twisted. The first 200 some pages up until the point of Adeline getting rescued by Zaid is rough. I don't know how anyone can like that part. For me, my takeaways from that first part, it was, I don't know how to word it. It was a lot. It was a lot. If you have any plans to read this book, please, I beg of you, read the trigger warnings and then like amplify it, especially for that first part. For part 1, because it is broken into parts. Part 1, please take those trigger warnings and amplify them by like 10. There were some very absolutely graphic scenes. I'm not one that typically shies away or gets like super squeamish, but these scenes, they got to me. They got to me. There were a few I had to put the book down and just go do something else because they were rough. I'm not really gonna dive into any more than that, but I will tell you, please, 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 if you take away anything from this video, please just read the trigger warnings if you're gonna read the book. I enjoyed the writing significantly more for Hunting Adeline than I did Haunting. It felt like way different, whereas the first book felt like fan fiction. This one felt like it was actually trying to flesh out to a true novel, if that makes sense. I don't know how I feel about Zaid still. He's kind of a hypocrite. He's still, I'd say he's in the same category as the people in the first part of the book because of what he did to Adeline during the first book. And yes, he rescued her and he loves her, but he still did very similar things. She just happened to fall in love with him, if that makes sense. There's gonna be a lot of me saying, if that makes sense. Because in my own head, it makes sense, but then when I try and verbalize it, it doesn't. So hopefully it makes sense. Let me talk about some positives. Positive number 1, Sibby. I get why people like Sibby. I get it now. I get it now. She was a very enjoyable character. She was pretty funny. Her little orgies with the henchmen. She helped alleviate a lot of the seriousness of what was going down. And I did enjoy her, and I might read Satan's Affair just to find out more about her. She kind of kept me like wanting more. Other pros. Again, the writing was way better, especially when it got to the points where it was like more action-based. I was like, okay, I'm invested. I'm excited for this. The smut scenes were still a little cringy, in my opinion, especially toward the end, where it was like every chapter, every other chapter, where Zaid and Addie were at each other's throats, and then like, oh my God, y'all, make up your minds. And Zaid at one point even says, make up your mind. Stop being like, I love you, push him away. I love you, push him away. You know, things like that. But there was one line at the end, toward the end, that just made me cringe, both internally and externally. And that was when Adeline said Zaid needed a penis reduction. That line alone, I'm sitting there going like, what were some other moments? Oh yeah, Zaid threatening some really, really messed up things. Like at one point, forcing a pregnancy on Adeline. He's like, would you stay with me if I got you pregnant? And then like made her think that he pulled out her IUD, which, what? So I think honestly, the worst part of this book was Zaid and part 1. Part 1 was the worst, but then Zaid, because of his hypocrisy and just his ego. And there were moments where I was just like, oh wait, there's a human in there. Oh, never mind, just kidding. No, there wasn't. But I will say part 2 and on kind of pulled me back in. Sibby pulled me back in. Adeline's character development kind of pulled me back in. However, she talked a few times about, you know, like, oh, I'm an author and I haven't written anything. I completely forgot that she was an author. I forgot that, like, that's how Haunting Adeline starts off, is she's doing, what, a book signing, and that's where Zaid sees her. I'm very conflicted on how I feel about this book. Again, I gave it a 3 out of 5, which I think was very fair. There was no way I was gonna give it more than that just because of some things. And I'm trying not to give too many spoilers in case anyone does want to read it and you haven't read it yet. I am glad that I went on ahead and read Hunting Adeline to just kind of finish out the duet, because I just kept getting like FOMO for reading it. I was like, well, I read Haunting Adeline, I guess I should finish it up and read Hunting. And people are not joking when they say that it is significantly worse in content than the first book. First book is like child's play comparatively. So just, again, if you take nothing else away from this video, please take away to read the trigger warnings like 10 times over. I would have liked to have seen more of a development. I felt like the ending was very rushed. I would have liked to have seen more of a development between Adeline and her mother, because it seemed like it was getting there. So I would have liked to have seen more with that. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of Daya. I will say something that kind of got to me was how people in this book, like the good guys, had no problem killing others. Like, they didn't even think twice about it. Yes, the people that died were bad people. It may have been concluded as justified. However, they just like didn't think much of it. I think I mentioned it previously. A good way to look at books like this is that, yes, it's like considered a dark romance, but you can separate it from a regular romance, like just for the summer. You can separate it from a contemporary romance because this one is a little bit more relatable. Like you feel like you could be in a book like this. Whereas with Haunting Adeline, it's so far-fetched. Like some of the themes in there aren't so far-fetched, like trafficking, obviously not. But I think, you know, falling in love with this super cyber security dude who's got like a yard long penis, you know, it's just so massive. Also, Adeline, we don't need to know every other sex scene that his stuff is huge. Okay, we got it. We understood. I'm just saying. So I think it's a little bit easier to enjoy a dark romance for what it is because you know it's like completely separate from real life and you can't really envision yourself in that situation. Whereas something like anything from Abby Jimenez, Tessa Bailey, Emily Henry, anything like that, you can put yourself into. Does that make sense? Take a shot every time I say, does that make sense? Actually, don't. You'll be drunk pretty fast. So like I said, I'm glad I read it. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. Would I recommend this duet to people? If it's your cup of tea, if dark romance is a thing for you, I'd maybe not start with this one. I don't think it was a very good like jumping off point for me, but I did it. Whatever, it's like I ripped the band-aid off. But yeah, I gave Haunting a 2 out of 5 stars. And if you are curious, since we're on my second channel, this is not on my main channel, the Haunting Adeline read-in vlog is on my main channel. So if you'd like to check that out, feel free to. But Hunting Adeline, I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. Yeah, I'm content with that. If anyone has any other dark romance books that you would recommend, like if this is your genre and you've got recommendations for me, I'm still trying to ease into it, so don't like hit me with a hard and heavy one. Leave them in the comments below. Let me know what you would recommend. Maybe I'll do like a vlog where I read only romance, like dark romance for a week or something like that. Leave your recommendations below. But if you did enjoy this read-in vlog, please, please, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to go down there and hit that subscribe button and also hit that notification bell so YouTube will let you know when I upload next. But until next time, bye lovelies.